In the height of the post-pandemic markets, we saw some pretty scary faces out there in the world, and I might have been one of them. This reminds me of that point in time where no one knew what was going to happen, if the sky was falling exactly. One thing we knew for sure is the quality names ended up enduring and coming out way better than before. So with that, I thought that bared mentioning as we sit here today with the S&P down 1,000 points. My tail is wagging because of some news that's going out in 22 minutes. Agnico has agreed to add additional funding for some deeper drilling based on confidence we've had in some of the existing drill programs. I'm going to talk about that today and talk about generally what we're doing up in Quebec with our projects that we're running with our partners at Agnico Eagle. So we think the blueprint for success, and this applies to every company on this floor, kind of the check marks that I would say to tick for any company you're looking at include location, established resource, are you near a past producing mine or not? Do you have the capital to execute? That's a very important one, especially at these points in the downturns of the marketplace, because raising capital now is not fun. And does the team ever done anything like this before? With our company, I think we tick all of those in spades. Given where we are, it was one of the best places to operate anywhere on the planet. We have an established gold resource of over 3 million ounces. We have also a high-grade past-producing mine that Agnico contributed to the joint venture when we did our deal with them a couple of years ago. We have $20 million on hand to execute, another $14 million coming from our partners, with warrants also to be exercised by them in the future, we expect. And we've all been around this space before. All of us come from big mining companies. I worked for a long time at Ivanhoe with Robert Friedland, and did put together a lot of strategic partnerships for that group and for him. And of course, we have Agnico as our partner. So we check all these boxes, and I think it gives people an understanding as to kind of what our outset is and what our outlook is for the future. So we're a well-capitalized gold explorer with district-scale projects, 400 square kilometers, in a great jurisdiction with a great partner. For those of you who don't know the project, I'm going to go through this quickly because I want to get to the press release that's going to come out in the next 23 minutes. We're a couple hours from Val-d'Or. We have power everywhere. As you can see from the map, the blue area is the Douay project. We have 3 million ounces sitting there. The yellow, Joutel, was a past producer, which was Agnico Eagle's first ever gold mine. They produced very high grade. Their average 6.5 grams that they produced over 19 years. And they left a lot of that behind. And we have 55 kilometers of strike along the Casa Berardi deformation zone. So this is where we are, and you can see all around us there are current and past producing large-scale gold mines. This is what Agnico said about our partnership and about their projects in September of last year, prior to after they announced the deal with Kirkland Lake. As you can see, they said established and growing 3 million ounce resource. The past producing high-grade project I mentioned a second ago, and they put this along with all the other existing mines. Here's how they thought about this relative to Canadian Malartic and Detour Lake. If you don't know, Canadian Malartic, it's the largest gold mine in Canada, which they operate. The similar footprint, we're very underexplored compared to Malartic and Detour. And as I mentioned, we have a lot of strike and significant exploration upside, which I'll get into now. I like this slide the best because it shows the relative shallow nature of our existing 3 million ounces. You can see that relative to Telbel, Globex, Casa Berardi, and Canadian Malartic, we're just scratching the surface at an average depth of 300 meters, which is why they've agreed to help fund some of the deeper targets that we're looking at. If you look to the right hand of the screen, you see the East Goldie extension, which they unearthed through some relatively thoughtful exploration efforts. They uncovered what that is 6.4 million ounces. We think it's about double that actually. And this is a high grade 6.4 million ounces, which extends their Malartic mine considerably, and is something we're looking at on our ground as well. So we think there are one or two more East Goldie type resource settings below what we've already uncovered near surface at 3 million ounces. They contributed, here's a photograph of what their mine looked like when it shut down in 1993. Here's what we uncovered. It's a shiny page on the screen with a lot of colors. What this was a 3D model of 250,000 meters of drilled data that we compiled for this image. What you can see from the plums there, the high grade that they mined over those 19-year periods. What they left behind, and something I invite you to look at when we have a little bit more time, is some of the higher grade intercepts that they didn't follow up on near surface, which were 2, 3, 5 grams, etc. They didn't make the cutoff of 6 grams. That was their cutoff. Below that, you also see some incredibly high-grade material under the right-hand side there on the tellbell side. These are 12, 15, 18, and 80-gram hits, never followed up on. The question you're probably asking is why not? They moved on to create this project called La Ronde, which is what they built their company on. And at the time, they had to make capital allocation decisions. They were about a $20 million market cap company back in the day when this was their first ever gold project that they mined. So they put everything in boxes. They put it away for 28 years. They didn't digitize the data. We took a look at it with them, and we put together this 3D model. So it's an incredibly unique situation where you have this kind of a data-rich environment to go after and do definition drilling is what we're calling it really, versus pure exploration. And we think there are potentially multiple million ounces of very high grade material around what they mined out in the past. So the press release that you're going to see in 20 minutes is going to talk about the fact that they've approved an additional $4.8 million budget to take some very deep looks below Douay and below Tellbell. These are to follow up on some of the initial hits we've had and understanding of the geologic setting of our Douay project and the Tellbell project I just mentioned. Looking to go through on the right-hand side, you'll see another graphic of the higher grade to the right side of the Tellbell. You'll see us go through. We'll put some holes through there and through the 80-gram hits that they had in the past that they never followed up on. Also, you'll see from the Nika and Douay West and 531 zone, all the deeper grade. These are 2,000 meter holes that we're taking, and we're going to learn a lot by going through those horizons. Something I would say that very few companies on this floor are doing, adding money at this time in the capital markets, only because we have the strength of Agnico Eagle behind us. And I think this is a significant turning point in our company, and I think it'll be a catalyst that drives what I like to say, there are beach balls that are submerged under the surface at the moment in the form of all these issuers and all these mining companies. Some that don't have the staying power will deflate at depth and never resurface. Those of us who have a lot of capital will not only get to surface, but bounce north of the surface, as we've all done. And when we were children in the swimming pool or playing at the beach, we think that we are definitely one of the ones that are going to bounce through the surface and higher as we go through these tough times in the market. And I can't wait to get after it. This is you think I've never been more excited about what we're doing, about our partnership with these guys, and I can say that anything I say to you is only worth so much. What you see about what we've actually done in our past, the boxes we've checked, the things we've actually accomplished up to this point, that should tell you everything you want to know about our management team and our style and our vision going forward. Going forward, we have results from Eagle and Douay we're going to be putting out to the market in the next few weeks. We have the MGM survey results that are coming, the winter drill results that are going to be coming out soon. We're going to do upwards of probably 30,000 meters in total this year, which is a significant drill program any year, but especially in these markets. And again, the last thing that's going to come out, you'll see the press release in a minute, is a supplemental 4.8 million deep drilling program at Douay and Joutel. Our market cap with everybody else has fallen temporarily, I would say, but we have an incredibly strong cash position, around $20 million in the bank, $14 million more coming from Agnico. We have some of the best names you'd ever want to see in the industry, like Agnico, of course, Fidelity, Goodman, the case Depot, which is, I hate to say, they're probably my favorite shareholder because they saw Cisco drive that company from 14 million market cap to when it sold to Agnico and Yamana for $4 billion. And that is the vision we have with our company, with our projects. So I invite you to watch the space very closely. Pay attention to the press release that's coming out in a few minutes. Here's some of our shining faces smiling up there and some of the names we've been associated with. I came from Ivanhoe Mines, where I worked with Robert closely and raised a lot of money for him, as I mentioned. We've all been around this space before. And here's your cheat sheet on who the hell is Maple Gold. We're in the Abitibi, great place. We have an established gold resource that's growing. Our partners, Agnico, we all come from large mining company backgrounds. We have plenty of capital in the chill to execute on our game plan, and we have the institutional ownership that would be the envy of anybody in this room. So with that, I invite you to come take a look at our booth, ask any follow-up questions you may have, and I thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the rest of the conference.